If you are watching this video at this very moment, I want you to stop everything you are doing. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. Because Archangel Michael, the guardian of souls, the prince of the heavenly hosts, he who carries the sword of divine truth, is looking at you now with a tenderness you have never felt in your entire life. He is not in a hurry. He is not judging you. He feels for you something so deep, so pure, so intense, that if you could see his face at this instant, you would cry with relief. Because you have spent years, perhaps entire decades, feeling forgotten by heaven, feeling too small to receive miracles, feeling too tired to fight the invisible battles of this life alone. And today, exactly now, heaven has decided to speak to you, not with thunderous booms, not with grand, frightening signs, but with the gentlest voice you have ever heard, saying within your chest, "My son, my daughter, you are special, you are loved, you deserve all the love in the universe." If these words are touching something within you now, if a part of you has already started to feel a tightness in your chest, a desire to cry without knowing why, a warmth rising through your shoulders and the back of your neck, know that it is not a coincidence. It is not your imagination. It is Archangel Michael touching you at this very instant, through this video, to remind you who you truly are. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change the way you see yourself, how you feel, and how you walk through this life from now on. You did not come here by chance. You were called. You were led. And Archangel Michael has a specific, directed, personalized, exclusive message for your tired heart. There is one thing that almost no one understands about Archangel Michael. People know him only as the celestial warrior, the one who wields the fiery sword, the one who fights evil in all its forms, the one who protects God's children from the invisible forces that try to bring them down. And he is all of that, yes. He is the commander of the angelic armies. He is the defender of light. But what no one tells you, what ancient texts keep in deep silence, is that Archangel Michael is also the most tender of all the archangels. He is the one who silently approaches you when you are crying in the early hours of the morning. He is the one who holds your invisible shoulder when you are about to give up on everything. He is the one who wipes your tear when no one in the world notices that you are suffering inside. Do you feel it now? That tightness in your chest, that stubborn tear wanting to fall, it's not weakness, it's recognition. It's your soul recognizing Michael's touch after years of silence. Many people reach this moment and feel exactly what you're feeling, but they don't understand what's happening inside. Do you know why? Because there's a deeper spiritual layer operating here, a layer that ordinary eyes cannot see, but that your soul immediately recognizes. If heaven brought you to this video, it's because you have a greater spiritual responsibility than you imagine. It could be protecting your family from something yet to come. It could be rescuing someone you love who has lost their way. It could simply be saving your own soul from the silent darkness that has been trying to suffocate you from within. That's why I've prepared a powerful digital book for you called How to Know If God Will Save You in the Final Judgment. The link is pinned in the description of this video and also in the first pinned comment at the top. Thousands of Brazilian brothers and sisters have already received this revelation and write to me telling how they saw clear signs of God's salvation in their lives after reading it. Don't put it off. This video may be taken down at any moment because the message is too powerful for the eyes of the world. If you recognize the call being made now, leave in the comments a simple Amen Michael, as a decree of acceptance of the new reality that begins today in your life. Let me tell you something you may never have heard before. There is a huge difference between asking and assuming, and that's precisely where most people get stuck their entire lives. You've spent years asking for love, asking for protection, asking for recognition, asking to be seen, asking to be special. You prayed, you cried, you begged, but nothing changed inside. And when nothing changes inside, nothing changes outside. Want to know why? Because asking keeps you in the place of having nothing. Asking is the dialect of those who still feel separate. And Archangel Michael has come today to teach you a truth that will change the course of your entire spiritual history. You no longer need to ask to be special. You already are. You no longer need to beg to be loved. You were chosen even before you were born in this body. The task now is not to earn God's love. The task now is to occupy the state of one who already knows they are loved beyond a shadow of a doubt. Neville Goddard, one of the greatest spiritual masters this world has ever seen, taught something that echoes exactly what Michael is whispering within you at this moment. He said in plain terms that feeling is the secret, not the mechanically repeated prayer, not the exhausting mental effort, but the deep, full feeling that what you desire is already yours. And when you combine this teaching with Archangel Michael's message today, something extraordinary begins to happen within you. Because you stop chasing, you stop begging, you begin to walk as one who already knows, and that's where miracles begin to appear. Not because God changed his mind, but because you finally occupied the state of consciousness of the fulfilled desire. The state of I am loved, the state of I am protected, the state of I am special in the eyes of heaven. And science, which many people think is distant from faith, today confirms this in a way that would make the ancient sages smile. The human heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends outside the body for several meters, and this field changes its vibration according to the feeling you carry within your chest. When you feel unworthy, your field emits a frequency of scarcity. When you feel loved, even before physical proof, your field emits a frequency of fullness. And the universe, that intelligent fabric that responds to your consciousness, begins to arrange external circumstances to match what you already feel inside. It's the law of assumption operating through physics. It's heaven bowing to your feeling. It's Michael clearing paths for the child who has finally accepted their own worth. And as you absorb all of this, feel how urgent this message is for you. Archangel Michael is asking something specific of you today, and you need a map so you don't get lost along the way. That's why I've prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If God Will Save You in the Final Judgment. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment at the top. Don't postpone what heaven is offering you today. Your family needs you awake. Your soul needs you now. Now I want you to pay close attention to what comes next, because this is the most common mistake that nullifies every attempt at manifestation and every attempt at deep reconciliation with God. And if you recognize this mistake within yourself, an ancient veil will fall from your life today. People believe that it's enough to affirm something out loud, repeat mantras, put pictures on the mirror, write goals in a notebook, and voila, the miracle happens. But there's a detail that almost no one explains. While your mouth says one thing, your subconscious may be screaming the opposite. And the subconscious is the soil where seeds germinate. If you say I am prosperous, but inside you feel panic, when looking at the month's bills, the soil receiving the seed is the soil of panic. Then the harvest is panic, not prosperity. And that's why so many people of faith, so many good people, so many people who pray every day, still live in hardship, still suffer, still wait for a sign that never comes. It's not a lack of faith. It's a misalignment between what is said and what is felt. Archangel Michael wants you to understand one thing today. He doesn't judge your weakness. He doesn't condemn you for feeling fear. He just wants to lead you by the hand to the correct internal state. And the correct internal state is the I am. Neville called this assuming the state of the realized desire. Joseph Murphy called this impressing the new order on the subconscious. And the ancient mystics simply called it living faith. It's the same thing through different paths. You need to start feeling now, before the physical evidence, the feeling of one who is already loved, the feeling of one who is already protected, the feeling of one who is already special in the eyes of heaven. Because when you inhabit this feeling, physical reality is forced to rearrange itself to mirror it. Let me give you a practical example from Brazilian life. Imagine a 42-year-old woman, a mother of two, married for 20 years, tired inside. She looks in the mirror and sees someone who has lost herself along the way. She struggles to pay bills, argues with her husband about money, tries to keep her faith even with a broken heart. Every night, she asks God for relief, a turnaround, a clear sign. And nothing seems to change. This isn't because God has forgotten her. It's because the program running in her subconscious since childhood is the program of lack. It's the program of struggle. It's the program of sacrifice. As long as this program dominates, everything that appears in her life will confirm this reality, because the electromagnetic field of her heart emits scarcity, and life responds with scarcity. Now imagine that this same woman watches this video today, understands the message of Archangel Michael, and begins to do different inner work. Before sleeping, she lies down, takes a deep breath, and instead of repeating the day's worries, she mentally occupies the state of the woman who is already loved, who is already supported, who is already free. She feels the joy as if it were already true. She feels the relief as if it were already happening. She sleeps within this feeling, and in a short time, her subconscious reprograms, and when the subconscious reprograms, the external world obeys. An opportunity appears, a conversation changes, a healing arrives. What seemed impossible becomes an open path. This is not fantasy. This is the law of assumption in action. This is Archangel Michael making space for the child who finally understood. And this is where another extremely important concept for your journey comes in: the bridge of incidents. Neville taught that when you assume a new state with fidelity, the universe builds a bridge of apparently coincidental events that lead you from where you are to the fulfillment of your desire. You don't need to know how, you just need to hold the feeling. An unexpected phone call, an encounter at the supermarket, a job opening that appears out of nowhere, a conversation that pushes you in a direction you never thought of. All of this is the stepping stones of the bridge of incidents. And Archangel Michael is the invisible engineer of this bridge. He organizes synchronicities, he arranges meetings, he closes wrong doors and opens right doors. But he can only do this when you stop doubting yourself, when you stop internally contradicting what you are asking for externally. And now take a deep breath, because I'm going to tell you something you may have never heard before. There is a fourth dimension. I'm not talking about science fiction. I'm talking about something Neville explicitly called the fourth dimension of consciousness. It's the internal place where everything already exists simultaneously. It's the field where your desire is already a living reality. When you close your eyes and imagine with feeling, you are not fantasizing. You are entering the fourth dimension. And it is from there that things descend into the third dimension, which is visible physical reality. Michael wants you to start living in the fourth dimension before the proofs of the third. He wants you to feel the protection before seeing the protection. He wants you to feel the love before finding the love. He wants you to feel the healing before realizing the healing. Because everything that is felt with fidelity manifests with precision. And this is exactly where most people get stuck again. They can feel for 5 minutes, but they go back to doubting in 20 minutes. They can imagine for one night, but they dismantle everything the next day when the bills arrive. They can enter the fourth dimension for moments, but they can't live there. And what makes the difference between those who manifest and those who don't is a single word: persistence. Archangel Michael is whispering within you now that your persistence cannot fail. Precisely at the moment heaven is giving you such clear signs. You haven't reached this point in the video by chance. There is a minuscule statistical probability of someone watching such a profound spiritual message for so long. You are one of the few, and the few always carry greater responsibilities. Perhaps you are the spiritual pillar of your family and don't yet know it consciously. Perhaps your mother, your child, your sibling depend on your journey to also find their way home. That is why I have prepared a powerful digital book for you, How to Know If God Will Save You in the Final Judgment. The link is pinned in the description and the top comment. Within this book are the clear signs that God himself leaves in the lives of those he has chosen to rescue before the last day. It is not vague, mystical content. It is practical and direct revelation. Thousands of people across Brazil have already changed their lives after reading it. Many write to me crying, saying they finally understood why they always felt different, always felt they were carrying something greater on their shoulders. This video may be removed at any time because it touches on truths that few people want to be spoken aloud. Don't leave it for later. Comment now: Michael, I am here, as a decree of acceptance of your new consciousness. Now let's talk about internal dialogue. This is perhaps the most powerful spiritual instrument Archangel Michael wants to place in your hands today. What you say to yourself, inside your head, throughout the day, is the true fuel of your destiny. It's not what you post on social media. It's not what you declare aloud in a prayer meeting. It's the constant murmur you maintain within your mind when no one is listening. If this murmur is, "I can never do it, I'm stupid, I don't deserve it, things never work out for me, everyone is lucky but me," then this murmur is the testimony your subconscious accepts as truth, and the subconscious doesn't argue. It simply manifests what it hears frequently and with feeling. Archangel Michael wants you to pay attention to every word you speak to yourself from now on. It's not about forcing artificial positive thoughts. It's not about pretending to be happy when you are suffering. It's about gradually replacing the old murmur with the new. Every time you notice an inner voice saying, "I can't," replace it with the voice of, "I am." You say mentally, with feeling, "I am capable, I am sustained, I am loved, I am special," and this is not vanity. This is a recognition of the divine presence that dwells within you. When God introduced himself to Moses by saying, "I am what I am," he was teaching you the greatest of keys. You are a mirror of creation. Whatever you declare after your "I am," the universe assumes as your identity. Therefore, be infinitely careful with what you place after these two sacred words. And Michael reminds you today, with all possible tenderness, that this reprogramming takes time. It is not about one night of imagination. It is about a daily decision. It is about small, silent victories. It is about you resisting the temptation to return to the old inner dialogue when circumstances seem to contradict the new state. Because, and here is the secret test, between the moment you begin to assume the new feeling and the moment the physical reality reflects that feeling, there is an interval, a silent interval, an uncomfortable interval. An interval where the old world still looks the same, still presents the same bills, still presents the same problems, still presents the same arguments. It is in this interval that most people give up. And it is precisely in this interval that Michael is closest to you, whispering, "Hold on, my son, my daughter. The bridge is already being built. You don't see it, but it already exists." I will tell you a strong truth about this interval. It is sacred. It is the test, it is proof that you truly believe, or if you were just playing at spirituality. And when you cross this interval with fidelity to the feeling, something definitive happens within you. You stop needing external signs to believe. You become the living proof yourself. And from then on, everything changes with impressive speed. Doors open. The right people appear. Healings happen in areas you had already given up on. Reconciliations occur in families that seemed destroyed forever. Bills are settled. Jobs appear. Loves arrive, not because God finally remembered you, but because you finally occupied the state of one who was always remembered. Now I need to ask you an important question. Have you ever stopped to think why you always felt since childhood that you were different? Why you always felt, even amidst a full family, an inner loneliness that no one understood? Why you always sought answers that others around you didn't seek? Why you always felt there was something more, even when everyone around you seemed content with the superficial? This is not illness. This is not oversensitivity. This is the mark of one who was called before being born. Archangel Michael looks at you today and smiles, because he knows you are one of those souls who came into this world carrying a greater purpose. And this purpose was postponed for years because life beat you down. Problems consumed you, disappointments made you close your heart. But today he came to untie you. Today he came to remind you that the mark on you is not weakness, it is vocation. You are different because you were sent to make a difference. And the time has come to accept this without fear. One of the most powerful techniques Neville left as a legacy for all of humanity is what he called the sleep-like state. He discovered that the moment before you fall asleep is the most open portal between the conscious and subconscious mind. In that instant, when your eyelids grow heavy, when your body deeply relaxes, when your mind begins to wander, your subconscious is fully available to receive the new order. And Archangel Michael teaches you the following today. From now on, transform this moment into a sacred ritual. Before sleeping, do not repeat the day's worries. Do not mentally count your bills. Do not review the arguments you had. Instead, enter a short scene, a simple scene, a scene that confirms your desire is already a reality. If you desire new love, imagine the touch of that love. Feel the embrace. hear the laughter. If you desire prosperity, feel the relief of the paid bill, see the money coming in, feel the peace of financial security. If you desire healing, feel your body light, feel the energy returning, feel the joy of vigor, and fall asleep within that scene. Neville called this sleeping in the feeling of the realized desire, and he affirmed with all conviction that 7 consecutive nights in this state are enough to begin deeply reprogramming the subconscious. And while you sleep, Archangel Michael acts. He organizes the next day's encounters. He adjusts synchronicities. He puts the right people in your path and removes the wrong ones. He closes doors that wouldn't lead you anywhere and opens windows you didn't even know existed. You just need to do your part, which is the inner work. Heaven does its part, which is the outer work. But here is the secret of secrets. If you do not do your part, heaven cannot do its, not because it doesn't want to, but because the law of consciousness is immutable. What is felt within manifests without exception. Let me tell you about something Joseph Murphy repeated often in his books, and which Michael confirms at this moment. He said that your subconscious is like fertile ground. It accepts any seed you plant without any judgment. It doesn't know how to distinguish between a good seed and a bad seed. It simply germinates what you plant with feeling. Therefore, from today onward, be very careful about what you let into your mental field. Do not watch programs that leave you in a constant state of fear. Do not talk to people who only spread scarcity and misery. Do not repeat to yourself those old defeatist phrases your grandmother used to say out of habit. Do not allow the media to program you to live in dread. You have total control over the seed you plant in your subconscious, and every minute you spend in a correct inner state is a minute that Michael uses to build the bridge of incidence toward your new reality. And look, I know that perhaps at this moment you are thinking, but I've tried so many times, I've heard so many similar messages, I've read so many books. Why would this time be different? And the answer is simple and at the same time profound. It is different because today you are not just listening, you are being touched. Michael is not here to give you more intellectual information. He is here to give you spiritual initiation. There is a gigantic difference between knowing something and being taken by something. You can spend your whole life knowing you are loved without ever feeling that love. And you can in a single instant feel that love in such a way that it reprograms your entire history in seconds. This is why mystics speak of grace. There are moments when heaven simply pours over you and a truth you have known intellectually for decades suddenly becomes flesh, becomes blood, becomes unshakable conviction. This video is one of those moments of grace for you. And Archangel Michael chose precisely today. Right now I want you to place your hand on your heart. Feel the beat, feel the warmth. What beats within is not just a muscle. It is the center of your electromagnetic field. It is the portal through which heaven communicates with earth within you. And Archangel Michael is touching this center now. He is downloading a frequency of pure love there, a frequency of restored dignity, a frequency of reawakened purpose. You may not feel an emotional explosion. It could be just a subtle warmth. It could be a tingling in your hands. It could be a deeper breath than usual. Each body receives in its own way, but trust. You are being touched at this very instant, and it will leave a mark that time cannot erase. And as this happens, I need to tell you something powerful, something that perhaps no one has ever told you. You are not responsible for everything that has happened to you so far. Many things were far beyond your control. Many pains came from people who should have protected you. Many scars opened because the world is harsh and you were too brave to hide behind a mask. Archangel Michael does not blame you for any of this. He just wants to remind you that from today on, you are responsible for what you do with the rest of your story. And the rest of your story can be completely different if you accept the new state he is so lovingly offering you now. There is a phrase from Neville that I want you to engrave within yourself and carry for the rest of your life. He used to say, assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Do not ask. Do not beg. Do not negotiate. Just assume. To assume is to occupy inwardly the position of one who already has. It is to act mentally as if it were already true. It is to react emotionally as if it were already happening. It is to behave internally like one who has already won the battle. And when you do this with fidelity, The external world is forced to bow because the external world is merely a reflection of your dominant internal state. Archangel Michael confirms this today, and he reminds you that God himself appeared to Moses saying, "I am." You were created in the image and likeness of this I am. Therefore, what you declare after your I am is literally a creative command coming out of your mouth. Use this from now on with all reverence and responsibility. Never say I am poor, I am sick, I am unhappy, I am alone. Each of these phrases is a divine command distorted in the wrong direction. Always say I am sustained, I am healthy, I am whole, I am accompanied. And feel as you say it. Because without feeling, a word is just sound. With feeling, a word is creation in motion. Now I want to make a silent invitation to you. Ask Archangel Michael at this moment within you to help you persist. Because persistence is the only differentiator between those who transform their lives and those who spend their lives waiting for transformation. Do not ask for a miracle. Ask for persistence. Ask for constancy in feeling. Ask for the strength to maintain the state of your desire fulfilled even when the external reality stubbornly seems to contradict it. Because on the day you have this persistence planted within your chest, everything else comes as an automatic consequence. Archangel Michael will sustain you on nights when you want to give up. He will place small signs of confirmation in your path. He will send you dreams that will reassure you. He will make people appear who will tell you the right word at the right time. But he can only do all of this if you keep the fuel of persistence burning. And allow me to remind you of another essential truth. You are not alone on this journey. You never were. You just felt alone because you didn't know how to see the invisible presences that have always accompanied you. Michael is with you. The angels of protection are with you. Your loved ones who have passed on but who watch over you on another plane are with you. Nothing within you walks in real solitude. Loneliness is merely an illusion of the material veil that separates dimensions. Tear down that veil today. Accept the company that has always been there, patiently waiting for you to open your eyes. And if something within you cries now, let it cry. It is the release of years of pent-up emotion. It is the soul recognizing that the time has finally come for it to be seen, to be embraced, to be remembered by heaven itself. I will teach you another practice that Michael wants you to begin incorporating. It is the practice of revision. Neville taught that at the end of each day, before sleeping, you should mentally review the moments of the day that displeased you and rewrite them in your imagination as if they had happened the way you would have preferred. This is not escaping reality. This is placing the subconscious in a vibration of victory. If someone offended you, you mentally review that scene and imagine the conversation dissolving into peace. If you had a financially difficult day, you mentally review it and imagine payments coming in with abundance. If you had an argument with someone you love, you review the scene with harmony. You don't need to rationally believe that it changed the past. You simply need to plant a new recording in the subconscious. And the subconscious, which is the builder of your future, begins to project externally what you record internally. Michael promises you that those who faithfully practice revision for 30 days see their own lives reorganize from the inside out in impressive ways. I close this message today by asking you to make a pact with Archangel Michael. Starting tonight, when you lie down in bed, before sleeping, you will do 3 simple and powerful things. First, you will place your hand on your chest and give thanks, with deep feeling, as if your prayers have already been completely answered. Do not ask for anything more. Just give thanks for what has already been done. Second, you will imagine a short, intimate scene that confirms that your greatest desire is already a living reality. Feel this scene with all your possible senses. Hear its sounds, smell its air, touch its textures, see its colors. And third, you will fall asleep mentally repeating, with great tenderness, the phrase, I am loved, I am protected, I am special. Fall asleep within this feeling. Do not judge, do not question, do not contest. Just fall asleep embraced by this truth. Do this for 7 consecutive nights, and observe what begins to organize itself in your life starting from the 2nd week. Archangel Michael promises to be there on each of these nights. He promises to bring down his sword upon any dense energy that tries to hinder your reprogramming. He promises to open the paths that need to be opened, close the doors that need to be closed, and bring the right people who need to enter your story in this new chapter. You just need to do your part with faithfulness and tenderness towards yourself. Before this video ends, I want you to make a decree with me out loud if you can, or in your heart, if you are in a public place. Repeat. I today accept the touch of Archangel Michael in my life. I accept feeling special. I accept feeling loved. I accept being guided. I commit myself to persistence in the feeling of fulfilled desire. I commit myself to my I am, and I open my heart to receive all that has always been mine by divine right. Did you repeat it? Did you feel something changing within you? Then keep this vibration forever. It is yours from now on, and no one can take it from you. And now, before you close this video and return to the life you were living up until this moment, listen carefully to what Michael whispers through my voice. This that you just felt here, within your chest, was no algorithmic coincidence. This was a direct call from heaven to your soul, and an ignored call closes, an ignored call falls asleep. An ignored call gets lost in the rush of the following days. That is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If God Will Save You on Judgment Day. It is the complete map for you to recognize one by one the signs God leaves in the lives of those He has decided to rescue before the last day. It is not generic content. It is revelation for your personal story, for your exact moment. The link is pinned in the description of this video and also in the first comment at the top. Download it now without delay, because the message is too strong to remain adrift in this world for long. Your family needs you awake. Your soul needs you active, and heaven needs your answer today. Leave in the comments, Michael, I accept the call, as the final decree of your new consciousness, and may this night be the landmark of a new life. Amen.